All right, let me make sure that I've got the right setup. Ooh, yay! Here we go. DIVAS and IRN. DIVAS bringing with them a Jean Bart, that's a Zatlandia faction exclusive. A Brandenburg, another faction exclusive for Zatlandia. Renown 44 without secondaries. Michelangelo, another Zatlandia faction exclusive. And an Isakaze. First time seeing an Isakaze. Interesting choice. I like it, actually. I actually think the Isakaze is a better destroyer than either of the Tier 5 Japanese destroyers. I love that idea. Much faster reload, if I remember correctly. Same range on the torpedoes. Maybe there's not as good damage or detectability. But 5.3 concealment is really sexy for a destroyer. Meanwhile, posing him on the other side is IRN with the same build as we've seen them play today already. With the playing with matches North Carolina, secondary Iwami, secondary Tirpitz, Flandre, that's mostly secondaries. He still has the aiming thing in there, and then a feed. I don't know what that means, but okie dokie. Moving on. Team's going in position here. It looks to me like Zatlandia is going for more of a C-heavy push, and IRN going for more of an A-heavy push. So your typical toilet bowl action. With North Carolina playing goalie again, just like we saw in Polar. Iwami going for the flank. Going to be in a position to kite away, do secondary things as Jean Bart opens up. Hard to ignore a broadside battleship, right? Not using his reload booster. Probably waiting for the Fiji to appear. As IRN starts opening up on the Jean Bart. And Kibbles goes in with the Isakaze to grab the sea cap. I'm sure IRN knew that was coming. Uh-oh, the Tirpitz is putting the plane up, everybody. Watch out. Silverstorm now coming under murderous fire from Brandenburg's secondaries. BG in the B cap. Now, if this was an Odin or a Bismarck, Bitter Guy could be hydroing and catching the Fiji on hydro right now with his German hydro. But Brandenburg does not get German hydro. What it does get instead is better secondaries. I believe more hit points than the Odin. All right, Renown 44 Elite Delta has gone into a kite away position here as he smacks Silverstorm's Flandre. And Alfredo's Tirpitz continues to advance into the A cap. Bitter Guy detected now by the Fiji's Hydro. Amish Ninja taking a pot shot at a broadside Iwami. That was pretty decent damage, actually. But IRN is going to get the A cap soon. Divas technically do have the point advantage right now, as the Fiji's opening up on the Jean Bart. So the Jean Bart is shooting and making good contact. Very good contact. If I'm Alvis, I might even use a reload booster on that and try to get him with a follow-up. He's about to be detected by the Isakaze. There he is. Here comes a Jean Bart shot with the reload booster. Decent hit on the Fiji. Reload booster up for the next shot. And Papu Gomez, quite low. Speaking of being quite low, our Tirpitz guy and Flandre are a bit on the low side of things too. Renowned 44, Elite Delta firing off torpedoes. That's a bit of a head scratcher because he ain't got the range on those torps. Well, maybe he does. They're 10 kilometer. He actually does. That. Isakaze in smoke, taking advantage of the opportunity to get some free shots as Alvis is forced to go into cover in the sea cap. And Amish Ninja Michelangelo is trying to advance on the Iwami with the Jean Bart's assistance. Amish, we've talked about this, Put and I, how very few times these guys don't like to use their consumables, even though they could easily run Superintendent. Tirpitz goes down. I'd really like to see Amish using the smoke here. I mean, why wouldn't you take advantage of that of that free smoke? Bitter guy goes down. Amish really needs to smoke here. I still don't get it. You gotta smoke. You can't let the North Carolina take pot shots on you. There's the smoke. Did he fire recently though? Looks like nope. Okay. Now's his opportunity to maneuver. Now he's turning northward, but here's the thing. Iwami isn't dead yet, and isn't going to die anytime soon. I don't like this maneuver. I would rather see him maneuvering like down to here, because then he can use the island to keep away from the North Carolina while he continues to get secondaries on the Iwami. Turning northward here kind of feels bad because he's not going to get the kill off. Meanwhile, Flandre versus Renowned 44. Papu Gomez is healed up a little bit. He's continuing to shoot at the Jean Bart. He's actually managing to arc the shells over that little bit of the island there. I was trying to decide what he wants to do, where he wants to go. He keeps backing up. He'll continue getting shot at. There's, see, the Michelangelo smoke is over. North Carolina shots coming in. Don't do anything. But the Iwami's allowed to live. Is that okay? Right now it's okay, technically. Right now it's okay, technically, because of points. Papu Gomez coming out into the sea cap. He was spotted for a little bit there. Not spotted anymore. As Isakaze is just going to walk into the A cap, I think. Basically saying, fine, you take B, I'll take A. And we'll be in the same problem. Be in the same situation. Alvo backing up, and Fiji takes a big hit there, but doesn't go down. Fiji's fired single-fire torpedoes. If this hits Alvis, this is a big problem. Alvis is actually going forward now. He's going to go forward into these torpedoes. Oh no, Alvis is going to go down. Possibly. He's going to take one, maybe two. Took one. He's out of heals. Alvis is out of heals. 1 minute to go. Flandre is quite low. Renowned 44 is still looking pretty healthy. Can they take out Silverstorm's Flandre? If they can, that will be a decisive win for the Divas. Isakaze detected now. Silver trying to heal up. That's his last heal. Here comes a North Carolina salvo on Elite's Renowned 44, who's sitting broadside to him. This could be pain. Oh. They get him. Isakaze gets the kill. That'll secure it with 40 odd seconds to go. I just don't see a way back in it for IRN. And we see our first Zathlandia win in quite some time. Totally not biased, y'all. Isakaze going in to seal the deal. 20 seconds remain. That's going to do it. Divas will be up 1 game over IRN. Is Alva's going to go down the last few seconds? Nope, he is still alive. So my death pick will be a Flandre Silverstorm. What a game. All right, there's a high chance that they're going to want to start again very quickly. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to run the ad break now. There's always a possibility, though, that they start before the ad break triggers. If so, I'll try to trigger a manual 1-minute ad break, okay? In addition, don't forget, I am also streaming this over to YouTube, so you can catch the action on YouTube in case an ad goes down. I'll put the YouTube link in chat here. Whew, what a game. That was wild. I don't know that I like how the Michelangelo was played there, but it worked out in their favor, so that's okay. They are setting some stuff up. Do we have info on the other game so far? Let's see. No. But Surya defeated JFK. Surya is facing DSNF2. Didn't they fight DSNF2 before? They did. Bootopia. That's right. Surya was defeated by DSNF2 yesterday, and I think we caught that. We did. We did. That was a 3-1 game. We caught that one yesterday. See what happens. I might use this opportunity to turn on my fan. I called it. Called it. They wanted to go. All right, here we go. Like the ad might have fired. Some of you guys might have gotten stuck in a 3-minute. Sorry. As we bring you guys game 2 of the Divas versus IRN. IRN in the green this time around on Archipelago. IRN bringing with them the same, no, different build. Iwami and a Soyuz, Sovietsky Soyuz this time. North Carolina, Flandre, and an Emerald. Emerald. So because they bring a second tier 9 battleship, they have fewer points to spend. So they bring an Emerald because it's cheap and can do the similar job, I guess, as a Fiji. On the opposing team, the Divas, bringing with them a very similar team, except the Long Zhang replaces the Isakaze. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. All right, well, we got our usual builds here. Jean Brandenburg, Renown, Michelangelo, and Long Zhang. Now, why Long Zhang, you might ask? Mainly because of the concealment advantage, I would say. 4.7 versus 5.3 with the Isakaze. Although, honestly, I think I'd still rather see the Isakaze, but that's all right. Iwami detected. Gomez has a really good spawn, actually. He can just walk right into the B cap. Soyuz also in a really good position to the south there. He can just butt up to the island. I'm surprised he's not doing that. Instead, he's being a little bit more aggressive. Spotted now. Flandre's gonna maybe push with him. An interesting decision. Papu in the B cap, smoking himself to make sure he gets the B cap safely. Once again, North Carolina playing goalie in the backfield, looking for opportunity shots. He sees one here on Alvy's Jean Bart. Shells do not connect. Now, if you're Kibbles, here's the question. Do you go for the Emerald next, or do you go for the Awami and try to get him off the board? Tough one to decide on. More shells coming in, hitting Alvy's Jean Bart. Deep waters fall short on the Awami. Gomez firing off some torpedoes with the anticipation that Kibbles is going to go into the B cap. Those are radio location directed torpedoes. Jean Bart continuing to just spam out HE. Trying to get Rado's Awami on fire. There it is. Also, HE has an opportunity of breaking torpedo tubes. On the other side of the game, we've got the Brandenburg, who's been beaten down pretty hard. Amish Ninja and the Michelangelo backing off. I really don't like that. I think Amish actually had a really good opportunity to be aggressive. He could have worked his way forward, gotten on the side of the Soyuz with the smoke perhaps, and got some good AP shells into his broadside. Instead, he's backing off, playing it safe, but playing it safe means he's going to lose his teammate. And see that Bitter Guy is forced to show broadside to the North Carolina now. And he's going to go down right here with this salvo. There he goes. So now Amish is by himself with 2 battleships bearing down on him. That's got to feel good. Meanwhile, Kibbles does go into the B cap. And Gomez knows that's coming, so he's going to try to advance. And you can see the difference in spotting there. You can see that, what is it, 4.7 kilometer detect? You can see how important that is. As Kibble says, this isn't worth risking my life over. It looks like the Jean Bart has left that spot. They don't care about the Awami anymore. They want this Emerald dead. Frankly, I can't blame them. Looks like the North Carolina has switched sides as well. Okay, now the Michelangelo smokes and charges? This doesn't make any sense to me. This doesn't make any sense to me, but okay. Talked about this yesterday with this build. You really need Superintendent. Oops. So if you need Superintendent, let's take a look at this. Really want Superintendent, right? You're going to have to get rid of top grade gunner. And I would even argue get rid of the shell switching and pick up priority targets. Be good to do. Or you could even try going for maybe heavy AP. There's no room for that. Never mind. Anyway. Smoke expires. Amish Ninja will expire shortly. Alvy and the Jean Bart is taking additional hits. Amish is going to try for the hero play. I guess. Torpedoing both. Just not going to go too well. Nah. See, there he goes. His opportunity to charge was wasted earlier. When the Brandenburg was at 50% health, that's when he needed to charge. Not after his Brandenburg is dead. Because guess what? There's nothing left for your team. So we will most likely be going to a game 3. Well played by IRN. BG barely sensing those deep water torpedoes. Look at that. And there goes the Jean Bart. Peoples hasn't really been connecting with his deep waters. I think the decision to ignore the Iwami was a really bad one. Just go and kill it, especially once the North Carolina has committed to the other side. And the decision to turn the Michelangelo around and just essentially yeet him into 2 battleships, not a good one. So, 2 big mistakes for the Divas, but there's one more game for them to play. They have one more opportunity to bring this back. Two minutes, 24 seconds remain. I really feel like the Isakaze would have been a better pick. Just far more torpedo weight. Makes it a much bigger threat. I mean, watch these deep water torpedoes. Watch how much damage they don't do. You know? Just not enough damage. And there goes the Renown 44. Oh, see, Biggles, the problem that I've been seeing so far is that the ships that aren't taking Superintendent are very, very cautious and not using consumables. They're not using Hydro like the last game. Amish wasn't using Hydro when charging against the Iwami. Didn't take the torpedoes, but I mean, hey, come on. He had 2 smokes available, too, when he was charging the Iwami, and still didn't want to use one of them. So if you're not going to use your consumables, because you have so few of them, that's a problem. Superintendent gives you the ability to use one and throw it away and not care, essentially. And there goes our tier 2 destroyer. And that would be an official wargaming blowout. As Puddin likes to say. Alright, so moving on now, we go to Islands. And like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if these guys go pretty quick here, so I'll try to run the ad break and we'll see if we can get it in. After this game, y'all, we'll be doing our draw when we figure out what's going on with our next game. Do I have a score to report to you guys? No. Surya won 1 game over DSNF2. DSNF2 brought a Fuso, John Bart, Renown 44, Alaska, and a Brandenburg. So that means DSNF2 is on game 2. There's a threat of them being swept out of the tournament. And the Divas are going to game 3, and that could be... This is their opportunity to be swept, or not swept, but kicked out of the tournament, I should say. We'll see what happens. Being told to hold this game for a minute, so that will help with getting the ad break caught up. Now, what's interesting is, like I said, DSNF2 beat Surya 3-1 in the winners bracket earlier, so... Alright, we'll see what happens over there. It is hard to get through the consumables in a time limit. That's true, Biggles. Like I said, if you're not going to use your consumables at all because you only have 2 and you're afraid to use them, then what's the point? So you either use them or you don't. And I think that's one of the hardest things about Michelangelo is knowing when to use those consumables. It's kind of like golf. If you're a golfer, most people say that they would rather miss the hole by going past it just a small amount than going short. And it's the same idea with the Michelangelo, in my opinion. You'd rather go down saying, okay, well, at least I used my consumables instead of having a full rack available. Exactly. Players should be using what they have. Agreed, 100%. And that's kind of the point I'm making. And I wonder if Superintendent, the lack of that, kind of puts a psychological impact on the player saying, well, I want to conserve, right? I don't want to use my consumable right away because then I only have 1 left, right? That 1 left part is a huge psychological impact. Get some more water. As we are being told to hold, most likely because the game 2 of DSNF Surya is on. If that's a 2-0, then they'll bring everybody over here. If it's a game 3, then we'll go and they'll go. So that's the reason why we're being told to hold right now. See, he's nuts. Bingo. See, there you go. There you go. That's the natural idea, is I want to save my consumable. The natural idea. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that that's a problem to, I think one of the hardest parts about playing a tournament for people who don't normally play tournaments is you have to break free of the random battles habits that you've learned. Random battles habits like, I don't want to get shot at ever if I can help it, right? I only want to take opportunity shots. If I can take a shot at somebody and not be spotted and shot at in return, I want to go for those kinds of shots. I want to save my consumables until I really need them. Like, those kinds of things, you have to throw those away. You have to look for opportunities to maximize your use of your consumables. That's the hardest thing. Zucado Jr., thank you very much for following. Welcome on in. Make sure you did the ticket thing. Perfect. After this game, we'll do our first draw, okay? I only have a certain number of codes, guys, and that's the reason why I can't do... Historically, we've been doing 1 each match. We got through all of our codes yesterday and then some, and I have to conserve because otherwise I'm going to run out, as always. Speaking of codes, again, if you are looking for really good opportunities to get codes, check out the rerun channel. It's live. There's 24 people hanging out over there right now, and I do draws on that channel twice a day. Last night at 10:30 p.m. my time, when I did my draw, we had 40-odd people tuned in, and we had only had 3 people entered in. Really good odds for that winner. Hey, King or North. And that winner walked home with some blue boosters to help with grinding up tech tree lines and stuff, so that's pretty nice. Okay. We are still waiting. We are still kind of... but both teams are ready. Stats and I are ready. Bo is here. Okay. So... that means Surya 2-0'd, which means that DSNF2 is gone. That means that the Divas are the only remaining team for Zathlandia in this tournament. The only remaining team. If they win, they get to face off against Surya. Up next. We'll see. Whoever wins this goes against Surya. We know that much. Okay, so we're seeing the other casters coming in, and they're gonna filter in. Then they'll probably... Bravo, it's 1-1. Trident, Archipelago. Okay. We are readying up. Next game should be dropping soon. That's here. There it is. Beer says you may fire when ready. See, I think I do game reversed again. Let's see. Yay! Here we go. Welcome everybody to game 3 of DIVAS versus IRN. IRN and DIVAS are tied up 1 each. This is win or go home for both teams. Whoever wins advances to play against Surya. Whoever loses, done for the day and gets to go back to sleep or whatever. IRN is bringing with them an Awami, a Soyuz, a North Carolina, a Flandre, and an Emerald. So in other words, the same exact build as last time. Opposing them in red are the Divas, with a Jean Bark black, Brandenburg black, Renown 44, Michelangelo, and this time Fubuki. Trying to think to myself, they had last time. I know they had Longjiang last time. They actually have room for a tier 6 destroyer last game, point-wise? That's interesting. Alright, well, Kibble's into Fubu now. The thing about Fubu is, on this particular map, you'll note, his concealment is 6 kilometer. Really not that sexy. This is an even tighter map than Archipelago, so I would think you'd want the Longjiang, but maybe he felt the same way I did, that the torpedoes just weren't doing anything for them. That's the case. I still think Isakaze would have been the way to go. Anyway, we have tier 9 on tier 9 action. Once again, Fabio hanging back in the North Carolina. Playing goalie, looking for opportunity shots. Bitter Guy once again finding the Soyuz and the Flandre on his side. Elite Delta engine boosting to the island up here so that, I don't know, taking some big hits there in the Renown 44. All right, well, Kibbles is going to grab the sea cap. He is putting out preemptive torpedoes to where Gomez is probably sitting in the Emerald. Amish was detected momentarily. Meanwhile, what's going on to the south? Wami detected. Looks like the Jean Bart is looking for opportunity shots. What's he looking at? Not looking up to the north. What's Fabio shooting at? Brandenburg? All right, Michelangelo's been spotted. Here, for example, is where I would smoke and then just move south. Because I've got Hydro, and I've got the Soyuz on Hydro, and I can secondary him to death and torpedo him even. And you know he's coming out, so smoke? Okay, there's the smoke. Now, don't shoot your guns. That's the big thing. You can't shoot your guns in this situation, even though you've got a broadside Soyuz right there. Soyuz taking a guess shot, really good guess shot. Ninja decides to shoot back. Really don't like that decision. Torpedoes hit the Soyuz. Emerald now shooting the Michelangelo. Flandre shooting the Michelangelo. Bitter Guy not really in position to finish things off on the Soyuz. But the Emerald is now detected. So that's excitement there. Meanwhile, Jean Bart and Wami going on. North Carolina has switched his guns to the Jean Bart. Alvey not paying attention to the North Carolina's broadside. Instead, just focusing on going bow in and hitting Ratu Zawami. See, the problem with that is that's gonna be a 2v1 pretty quick. See, Alvey just taking too many hits from the North Carolina. Bitter Guy and Silverstorm are meeting. Silverstorm might get underwater featured. That could allow Bitter Guy to get past and fire off his torpedoes. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be crucial because I'm pretty sure Alvey's going down pretty soon here. North Carolina repositioning to support to the north. Bitter Guy with a very early, far too early torpedo drop. Too soon, Junior. He only hits 2, and they're both on the bow. If he would have waited just a little bit longer, that would have been a very dead Flandre. Instead, he blew his opportunity and then turned and got wrecked by the Soyuz. He would have been far better off going sideways to Silver and then firing off his torpedoes like this. You fire them widespread so that you spread out the damage. You spread out the damage because as torpedoes hit one spot, that one spot gets saturated. Your torpedoes do less damage. That was a really bad attempt at a drive-by there by that Brandenburg player, and that might very well seal the deal for the Divas. Papa Gomez needs to get killed if there's an opportunity for the win here, but no, Wami does that, so that will be it. IRN is going to move on, and with that, Zathlandia is out of the tournament. Zathlandia looked really strong at the start of yesterday. More teams seeded than any other faction. Lots of opportunities to choose how they wanted to play today. And unfortunately for them, Stats and Overlord Bo, they put together an alliance to go against Zathlandia, and together they took Zathlandia down. On the bright side, knowing that it took 2 factions against 1, I'll take it. Nicely played to IRN. And Amish Ninja getting smacked. Is he going to go for the broadside shot as people continue to fish in the smoke? This time he holds his nerve, gets the torpedo out. This is the final smoke. Nice torpedoes on Silverstorm. Silverstorm does go down. And now it's the North Carolina versus, and Kibbles is stuck in the Fubu, being chased down by an Emerald. That will do it. Yeah, but then, nope. Indeed. Indeed. Alright, there's our final death pick. And with Zathlandia out now, I'm gonna go get some dirty water, and we're gonna drink. Cheer to toast Zathlandia. Alright, IRN winner. There's the screen.